party at my house because I'm the volunteer coordinator. So if any of you are there, so don't look through your program for that. And Mike Prescott, I'm told, is their fashion coordinator. So they look marvelous, just marvelous. We're going to be having the festival again tomorrow, 1 to 5 and 7 to 11. Our featured musicians, Mark Graham and Paul Katopish, will be playing tomorrow evening. Right now they're playing for a folk festival dance. It's listed in your program. If you want to be dancing and don't want to be here, I'm not going to tell you where it is, but you can look in your program. And if you don't have a program, we have cleverly placed them at the membership table downstairs in the lobby. So if you'd like to get one, stop by and maybe even become a member. That would be really cool and you'd feel so good about it. Let's see, we have t-shirts for sale. We always have to plug these things because we don't want to pack them up and take them home. So here we go. I'd like you to welcome the Rosewood Coalition.
Test 1, 2. Okay, we're going to do a slightly religious song here. Well, when I was a kid, I'd take a trip every summer down the Mississippi to visit with my granny in her antebellum world. Well, I'd run barefooted all day long, climbing trees, just free as a song. And one day I happened to catch myself a squirrel. Well, I stuffed him down in an old shoebox, punched a couple of holes in the top, and when Sunday came, well, I snuck in at the church. Well, I was sitting way back in the very last pew, showing him to my good buddy Lou, and that squirrel got loose and went totally berserk. Well, what happened next is hard to tell. Some thought it was heaven, others thought it was hell, but the fact is something was among us was plain to see. As the choir sang, I surrender all, that squirrel ran apart and knew its coveralls, and hard leaped to his feet and yelled, "Someone's got a hold on me!" Yo!
The day the squirrel went berserk in the first self-righteous church in that sleepy little town of Pascagoula. It was a fight for survival that broke down in revival. They were jumping pews and shouting hallelujah.
Well, Harvey the aisles dancing and screaming. Some thought he had religion, others thought he had a demon. And well, Harvey thought he had a weed eater loose in his fruit of the looms. As he fell to his knees to plead and beg, that squirrel ran out of his breeches leg unobserved to the other side of the room. All the way over to the amen pew where sat Sister Bertha better than you, who was watching the whole commotion with sadistic glee. Well, shoot, you should have seen the look in her eyes when that squirrel jumped her garters and crossed her thighs, and she jumped to her feet and yelled, "Lord, have mercy on me!" As the squirrel ran laps inside her dress, she began to cry and then to confess to sins that would make a sailor blush with shame. Well, she told of gossip and church dissension, but the thing that got the most attention was when she talked about her love life, and then she started naming names.
That day the squirrel went berserk in the first self-righteous church in that sleepy little town of Pascagoula. It was a fight for survival that broke down in revival. They were jumping pews and shouting hallelujah.
Well, 7 deacons and the pastor got saved, and $25,000 got raised, and 50 volunteered for missions in the Congo on the spot. And even without an invitation, there was at least 500 rededications, and we all got rebaptized whether we needed it or not. Now, you've all heard the Bible story, I guess, how he parted the waters for Moses to pass over miracles God has wrought in this old world. But the one I'll remember to my dying day is how he put that church back on the narrow way with a half-crazed Mississippi squirrel.
The day the squirrel went berserk in the first self-righteous church in that sleepy little town of Pascagoula. It was a fight for survival that broke down in revival. They were jumping pews and shouting hallelujah. The day the squirrel went berserk in the first self-righteous church in that sleepy
squirrel, or sacrilegious squirrel.
Here's one of our favorite songs. It's about the Mexican Revolution, written by a group from Sweden, and it appeared in the 70s. Pretty international in flavor. This is by ABBA. It's called Fernando. very, very old English folk song that's had many different titles. It's been known most recently for the last 20 years or so because of Simon and Garfunkel as Scarborough Fair.
Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme.
A very important message. It's one you all will recognize, Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Teach your children well.
Become yourself, because the past is just a goodbye. Teach your children well, their father's hell did slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams, the one they picked, the one you'll know why. Don't you ever ask them why, if they told you you would cry, so just look at them and sigh, and know they love you. And you of tender years can't know the fears that your elders grew by, and so please help them in your youth perceive the truth before they can die. Teach your parents well, their children's hell will slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams, the one they picked, the one you'll know why. And you of tender years can know the fears that your elders grew by, and so please help them in your youth receive the truth before they can die. Teach your parents well, their children's hell will slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams, the one they picked, the one you'll know why. Don't you ever ask them why, if they told you you would cry, so just look at them and sigh, and know they love you.
Thank you.
It was the Rosewood Coalition with Christine Livingston on lead vocals, Roseanne Wilson-Marsh, Mike Prescott, Holly Hem on guitar, and Tina Scott on drums. Don't forget to watch for a notice in the paper that they'll be playing sometime in the spring at Cyrano's. Great. I've been asked to make an announcement that if any of you are interested in finding out when the summer folk festivals are going to be happening, you can stop down at the Hunter Creek booth downstairs. It's the one with all of the great pictures on it, and fill out this form. They'll be sending out a mailing sometime in the late spring to tell you when everything's happening around the state. And you can know about all the festivals, so you can plan on when you're going to take the motorhome out and go camp out. There's a time-honored tradition, the folk festival, of telling really stupid jokes, and I've also been kind of told I'm playing it too straight tonight. So I've chosen for my performance piece. Throughout the evening, I'll be telling you some of 50 fun things to do on an elevator. These are in no particular order, and some of them, oh heck, I'd try just about any of them. One suggestion is to bring a chair along, kind of like that. Another is to blow spit bubbles. This one I like. Announce in a demonic voice, I must find a more suitable host body. We're setting up now for the Just Met band. They've just met each other time and again over the last few years. We've got Bill Allen, Phil Stewart, Celine Viancourt, Rick Miller, John Michaud, Mary Schaller. And they would love it if you'd come down here and dance like you did before. Phil says that the more you dance, the better they sound. So please do that. And there's room down here in the hallway. And heck, come up on stage, just don't trip on the cords. We're just about ready for them. Please welcome the Just Met Band.
Thanks a lot, you guys.
Good evening.
stars among the trees, and some old memory I know. At midnight on the water, not so long ago. Now they're gone like floating dreams. The scenes were there as in a mirror made by the moon upon the water. And our love was never stronger, but the picture was broken by the waves we left behind. At midnight on the water, once upon a time. In the stillness of the lake, where these thoughts take me again. At midnight on the water, do you remember when there were stars among the trees, and some old memory I know. At midnight on the water, not so long ago. Now they're gone like floating dreams. The scenes were there as in a mirror made by the moon upon the water. And our love was never stronger, but the picture was broken by the waves we left behind. At midnight on the water, once upon a time.
How you guys doing tonight? That's the correct audience response. We were counting on you doing that way.
You're an awesome audience. If it wasn't for Sheila Miller back in the back timing us, I think we'd stay all night.
That wasn't fun. Hey, thanks a lot. I'm glad somebody noticed that.
I like his tie. His tie is great.
When I lay down to take my rest,
I've got an eye upon the road. I've got a hand to hold my heavy load. Yes, I've got a man and I've got a gun. One is for fighting, the other one's just for fun. One is for fighting, the other one's just for fun. When I find out you don't love me, honey, when I find out you're going away, ain't no surprise 'cause I saw you running from where I lay there. Ain't no surprise 'cause I saw you running from where I lay. When I lay down to take my rest, most of the time my mind's on happiness. Yes, some of the time, but not for long. Just tell me what's to come. I can feel it, tell me what's undone. When I find out you don't love me, honey, when I find out you're going away, ain't no surprise 'cause I saw you running from where I lay there. Ain't no surprise 'cause I saw you running from where I lay.
Thank you kindly.
We're the Just Met Band. On my far left is Mr. John Machado on the banjo.
He's single too, ladies.
Celine Valancourt.
Single too.
She's single too. Hey. Rick Miller. He's not single.
His wife is a stage manager, so watch it.
And that's Bill Allen, and he is not single either. It's my husband. And Phyllis, and she's also married.
This is Miss Mary Ann Shallard.
Thanks a lot. You can always count on Rick Miller to sing you a song about a train. This is a tune called Old Train. Oh.
Oh, train. I'm here for the whole ride. Just jump on again. Oh, train. I'm everywhere you go, but I know I
Old train, time to crash, you're older than the last, and it seems I'm too old to run it.
the Just Met Band. And you can sometimes hear them at dances around town. I'd suggest you look in the paper to see who's playing where, when, and come out and dance to them sometimes. We're setting up now for Mike Campbell, who is just the most marvelous man I think I've ever met. He's one of the reasons this festival goes off with as few hitches as it does. He's stage manager, he's stage crew. He keeps us laughing. He writes fantastic songs. His wife Tommy and their 5 kids help out in every capacity you can imagine. Selling food, selling t-shirts, cleaning up, setting up, on-stage crew. If there ever was a festival family, it's the Campbells. And let's hear it for the Campbells. Mike's going to be doing his own songs tonight. He has a tape and CD downstairs for sale called The Sculptor. And please welcome Mike Campbell.
Oh, my name is Ian McGregor. I hail from Aberdeen. I signed on board this whale fishing ship just after I turned 17. I was eager to please and I learned me jobs well, and the captain soon gave me a chance to prove to the world, to the crew and myself, I had talent for throwing the lance. There was a good view of the whales in the pod from the bow of the boat where I ride. We were just bearing down on an old humpback cow with a calf swimming there by her side. The sky was clear and the weather was good and the sea was a beautiful blue. So I pulled me arm back and I tied my throw right. Whale was struck deep and true. Yeah, the harpoon sank in so far up the shaft that I knew she would be my first kill. But the sorrowful cry that she gave to her calf struck me even deeper still. Then I sat back down hard while she jerked on her boat and watched as the line it played out. But each one of us knew that she wouldn't run far. There was already blood in her spout. And it took several strokes from our 10-foot-long pikes to finish the life of that whale. There were tears on my cheeks though when hauling her back, with the calf swimming next to her tail. Then I sat as though stunned in the bow of my boat, while the crew hooked up shackles and gear. I was shocked by the foul evil thing I had done when another sound came to my ear. A plaintive cry, so mournful and sad, came forth from the wee little calf. I reached out and stroked his barnacled head, while the knife started cutting the fat. Then the fire was stoked for to render the oil, while the mate hollered down from the deck. Hey, McGregor, you fool, what you sitting there for? Stick your lance in that little one's neck. Well, I looked at the man who had called down to me, thought about what he had said. I picked up my lance, but I turned it around and smacked the calf hard on his head. Then he rolled to his right, and he flourished his tail and disappeared under a wave. And though I was sad for the cow I had killed, I felt good for the calf that I saved. And no more would I kill on this whale fishing trip, though I still got my time all the same. Mending and cleaning and helping the cook, till they dropped me at a seaport in Maine. For the last 40 years now I've lived a good life, with a wife and 4 sons that we've raised. And I've taught them that killing for profit or sport is a thing that should never be praised. But I wonder at times when I think of that day and the changes that it made in me, How can we as men still live with ourselves when we slaughter the whales of the sea? How can we as men still live with ourselves when we slaughter the whales of the sea?
The next song I'm going to do is not on my album, but I've had several requests for it from people this week. They basically demanded I sing it because it's not on the album. I was driving to Glenallen in my big 10-wheeler truck when the new snow on the road caused me to slide off and get stuck. I was not worried, for I had been a Boy Scout as a lad, and I brought along my Carhartts if the weather should turn bad. So I put on bunny boots and donned bib overalls and coat. I had bought 'em down at Brewster's and they kept me warm as toast. The bunny boots were snowy white, the Carhartts tawny brown, and dressed as warmly as can be, I started off towards town. Now I'd gone about 3 miles when it began once more to snow, and coming at me from the north the chilly wind did blow. This inclement stormy weather made it hard for me to see. I decided just to wait it out beneath an old spruce tree. 'Twas then I saw the hunters in their camel-colored deuce. They were pointing rifles at me and were shouting, "There's a moose." I waved my arms to warn them off to show them it was me. Then I realized this probably looked like antlers in the tree. Well, then suddenly a bullet struck the branch above my head. If I'd stood there any longer, I am sure that I'd be dead. Shots landed all around me as I slid down the ravine and took off running fast as any track star you have seen. Yes, I was sprinting hard to stay ahead, to keep from getting killed. And with all of this exertion, well, I was no longer chilled. So I peeled off and tossed away my dear old Carhartt coat. And as it fell, 4 shots rang out and blasted it to smoke. Now I kept on running even when the hunters stopped their chase, and I credit my survival near entirely to haste. But I heard them cheering loudly as I crested o'er the hill, congratulating each other on the Carhartt colt they'd killed. Yes, I think back now and then about how close to death I came, and of how much brown duck canvas can resemble antlered game. So, to make sure that my body never does become extinct, all the clothes I wear into the woods are now fluorescent pink. And somewhere in America, just where I cannot say, there is a big game hunter with a trophy from that day. I know it's stuffed and mounted on his wall so he can gloat and tell stories of his courage when he killed my Carhartt coat. It's always nice to play the Anchorage Folk Festival. People who really appreciate fine music. The next song is a song I wrote about my father. Charles W. Campbell was an artist and sculptor and father of 4 and issuer of great wisdom. This is the title song from my album, a song called The Sculptor. When I was a young man, I found me a sweetheart. I carried her books when we walked home from school. But then when she left me to walk with another, my poor heart was broken. I felt like a fool. My father, the sculptor, said, "Son, do not worry, for if you are patient, and careful and wise, you will find you a new love, and she'll bring you true love. Your heart will be filled when you look in her eyes. Then true to his wisdom, and just as he told me, I found my true love in my 23rd year. But marriage and children and building a household can bring on more problems than stories you hear. But my father, the sculptor, said, son, do not worry, for if you are patient, careful and wise, you will let your love guide you and not become blind to the wonder and good times your family provides. He made art out of stone, out of wood, out of bone. Sometimes he would work through the night in our home. He could take things in pieces and then make them whole. And he worked hard at sculpting my soul. As our children grew older, they had different interests. They blossomed and tried many things on their own. But once in a while, they would clash with their parents. Oh, it seemed like to them they would never be grown. Then Grandpa, the sculptor, would say, kids, don't worry. If you are patient, careful and wise, you will get through these times when no one understands you. Then cherish these years till the day that you die. Now my wife and I sit in our boat on the ocean. We'll watch the sunset and think back on good times. And although the sculptor is no longer with us, the love that he showed us continues to shine. For throughout our lives we have tried not to worry. We've worked to be patient, careful and wise. Soon we'll play with our grandkids and watch them as they live and try our own hand at sculpting their lives. He made art out of stone, out of wood, out of bone. Sometimes he would work through the night in our home. He could take things in pieces and then make them whole. And he worked hard at sculpting my soul. Oh, he worked hard at sculpting my soul. I'm gonna tell you the story about a crazy moose. He lived back in the hills in an old caboose. He strings his antlers with Christmas lights and eats only junk food day and night. He's Morris, the misfit munching moose. His tummy's empty and his brains are loose. He eats all day, he don't like hay. He's Morris, the misfit munching moose. Now you gotta help me with the boom boom part. Just after it is snow, Morris goes boogieing down the road. When he gets hungry, he'll stop and shop. He'll get some Fritos, corn chips, and soda pop. When he goes driving in his car, he likes to drink Dr. Pepper from a mason jar. Drives right up to Burger munching moose. His tummy's empty and his brains are loose. He eats all day, he don't like hay. He's Morris, the misfit munching moose. Ba-dum, ba-ba-dum, 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 ba-dum, boom, 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 boom. Be careful, I may leave you alone on one of them. Now Morris got himself a job, dealing blackjack and five-card draw, but they let him go because he could not break his habit of eating all the table stakes. Then he took to a life of crime, robbing stores in the summertime. He never hurt a single soul and took only Twinkies and Tootsie Rolls. He's Morris, the misfit munching moose. His tummy's empty and his brains are loose. He eats all day, he don't like hay. He's Morris, the misfit munching moose. Ba-dum, ba-ba-dum, 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 ba-dum, boom, 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 boom. Now Morris lights his music high, from the big band swing to the old bebop. The hip-tap rhythm with a lot of soul, and good boogie-woogie and rock and roll. With all the food that he puts down, he ought to weigh 5,000 pounds. But ask him, and he's proud to say he can dance those extra pounds away. He's Morris, the misfit munching moose. His tummy's empty and his brains are loose. He eats all day, he don't like hay. He's Morris, the misfit munching moose. Yeah, he's Morris, the misfit munching moose. Tummy's empty and his brains are loose. He eats all day, he don't like hay. He's Morris, the misfit munching moose. Oh, ba-dum, ba-ba-dum, 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 ba-dum, boom, 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 boom. That's it. Good night.
That was Mr. Mike Campbell, Mr. Festival. Let's see, they're setting up for a kind of a big group. It's the debut of Richard Gelarden and Powder Creek. So while they're setting up, you have to suffer through some more of 50 fun things to do in an elevator. Sell Girl Scout cookies. This one I like. Offer name tags to everyone getting in the elevator. Sounds like me, doesn't it? Stand silently and motionless in the corner, facing the wall without getting off. Greet everyone with a warm handshake as they get in the elevator and ask them to call you Admiral. Do Tai Chi exercises. Shave. Crack open your briefcase or purse, and while peering inside, ask, got enough air in there? It's time to go back to these marvelous performers now. You're going to get to hear Joe Page. I think I saw him listed as the legendary mandolin player, and he certainly is that. We're lucky to have him down here. And Joel Catteroach on banjo, Bill Yeagle on, what else? Bass. Carl Hoffman from Fairbanks on guitar. And Richard Gelarden is kind of legendary himself. He's been around here playing music for, gosh, since I was a little girl. And Richard's been outside at Remedial Fiddle School, I believe it is. And now he's back with us to stay, and so please welcome Richard Gelarden back home, and also Powder Creek.
Sad and lonesome. If you're
Lonesome River Band, and we've been getting a lot of our material from them. This is called The Game. Ronnie Bowman does it on the new album they have. The first time that I met her, she took my breath away. My body started trembling and I didn't know what to say. But I pulled myself together and I asked her for her name. She said, my name is Sally Joe and I don't play the game of love and leave 'em. The nights of crying and grieving, I'll never love no one again. I got caught up in the game that I can't win. Many times I've heard the story of love that's gone bad, and I can understand it. I lost the one I had to a man who's never played before. This crazy game I lost. Well, he don't know the pain I found. Soon he'll pay the cost. The game of love and freedom. The nights of crying and grieving. I'll never love no one again. I got caught up in the game that I can't win. The game of love and freedom. The nights of crying and grieving. I'll never love no one again. I got caught up in the game that I can't win. Shifting down the fingerboard, moving down the scale to where I sing more comfortably. Key of D. We're going to do an old traditional tune called Your Love is Like a Flower.
Richard is the lowest tenor in all of bluegrass music.
Really, Del McCrory, I'm not. It was long, long ago in the moonlight. We were sitting on the bank last tune, boys. Yeah. I just got a call from my good girl today. Said she must be going on her way. There's better things on down the line. I will try to change her mind. She seems to think we're better off this way. But my heart, it breaks in two. It can't believe that it's true. Though I want you to stay, you're leaving anyway. You've got to do what you got to do. There's times when I know I've not been there for you. Maybe that's the reason for your leaving. I'll try to keep you off my mind. A girl like you is hard to find. Somehow I'll just have to stop my grieving. But my heart, it breaks in two. It can't believe that it's true. Though I want you to stay, you're leaving anyway. You've got to do what you got to do. My heart, it breaks in two. Can't believe that it's true. Though I want you to stay, you're leaving anyway. You've got to do what you got to do. But my heart, it breaks in two. You can't believe that it's true. Though I want you to stay, you're leaving anyway. You've got to do what you got to do. You're gonna do what you got to do.
Obviously, what these guys have got to do is bluegrass music. That's Joe Page, Joel Catteroach, Bill Yeagle, Carl Hoffman, and the incomparable Richard Gelarden. Please give them another big hand. We're setting up for the Caravan Dancers now. I saw them practicing backstage, and they're so graceful. At least the women. I didn't get to watch the men. I wasn't allowed to. But they look wonderful. Shouldn't take very long. These used to be the Folklander Dancers. They've been together in some form or another for 13 years. And tonight you'll be seeing Betty Atkinson, one of the charter members of the Dancers, along with Barbara Burr, who's wearing some really neat earrings. Go check it out. Jane Stammen, Adolph Wakuliuk, Jean Augustine, and Alan LePage. They will be doing first a Bavarian Ländler, then a Sillatala from Austria, followed by a Hofbräuhaus from Bavaria, and the final number is from northern Germany, Kreuzkönig. Please welcome the Caravan Dancers. Caravan Dancers. Again, that was Adolph Wakuliak, Jean Augustine, Ellen LePage, Betty Atkinson in the flowered dress. Isn't she just cute as can be? Barbara Berg and Jane Stammer. And if you want to learn more about folk dancing, check with those guys. And you can see them at various festivals around the city and the state. We're going to set up now for Nitewind. I can't remember what it says in the program, but it was something pretty Mike Richardson-ish. Very interesting. This is a group that's been around for a long time, in the very same configurations. You'll see them tonight. They're a marvelous Celtic group. They have Linda Yarborough on harp, Carl Wilhelmi on probably mandolin, I don't know, Mike Richardson on various instruments, including fiddle, bowron, who knows what. Bob French and Helen Howard on cello. Bob is probably on flute. Often you get to enjoy this group during the St. Patrick's Day period. They also give concerts at various times. So Nitewind's a really wonderful group to listen to, and I wish I had the program to read you what it says, but hopefully you can read it yourselves. So I get to read you more of 50 fun things to do on an elevator. The power of a microphone, it's so great. Bet the other passengers you can fit a quarter in your nose. Show other passengers a wound and ask if it looks infected. I do this. Walk in with a cooler that says human head on the side. Oh, and here we go for folk festival goers. Start a sing-along. Oh, and play the harmonica. Meow occasionally. I want you all to try these. You can do these at home, if your home has an elevator. When at least 8 people have boarded, moan from the back, oh, not now, damn motion sickness. Start grinning at other passengers for a while and then announce, I've got new socks on. I think we're just about ready. So they're figuring out if they're really hooked up. Let's clap for them. Here's Nitewind.
Singing at the microphone. Sound man, check your microphone. Hello. We got we're gonna try to play. Do the voice over on the harp, sound man. Oh, okay. I'm just trying to be and try to remember which is a B.
You just brought the one accordion.
If you really know.
We are Nitewind, actually. And we're glad you could stay until now.
The last time we looked at the room.
You ready? Linda really can't see Linda's.
Can't see.
All right. Sorry.
Ireland, Scotland, Brittany, and Wales, I can hear those ancient voices calling children, children, children. There's a piece called The Morning Dew. And this one is
Rough one.
This one is a thing that Michael heard. Maybe you all might recognize it. It's from a motion picture that was out a couple of years ago called The Last of the Mohicans. And this is actually a tune that was written for that, a jig called The Gale. And we've arranged it to play it with a piece called
The other is
The Wild One. The Wild One.
And then you recognize the main theme from the Mohicans movie.
need for an encore. But the way people have been, the way it's been going, so we'll probably do one more. And this is a couple of wedding songs. And the first one's called Donal Agus Morath. And Linda, over there on the harp, is going to sing it in Gaelic. And she's going to give you some idea what it's about. It's kind of like Boy Meets Girl, right?
Boy Meets Girl, and they have a wonderful wedding celebration. It's supposed to be the best one for miles around, best one in years.
Sort of like Donald Loves Mary. And to celebrate their wedding, we're going to go into a tune that's played a lot, but not often sung, Mary's Wedding. And so we're going to sing a bit of that for you, and we'll take it out in a sort of a different continent with a medley we call Celtic Wedding out of Africa.
She done